Mean Guitar Rap! We're back with the best guitar series on YouTube, and it's the first video of the year. Yay! At the start of the year, I decided to make a video dedicated to the standard tuning of standard tunings, E standard. I asked you in the Discord server, in my Instagram stories, and in the YouTube community post what E standard riffs will be the meanest to include on this video. Let's not waste any more time and get right into the riffs. To start off, we have one of the most mentioned songs of them all throughout all three platforms. It's Deftones with Engine Number 9. I've been a fan of Deftones for over 10 years, and I think just this last year I found out that their first album had a bunch of songs in E standard. And honestly, this is just an undeniable riff. I love the groove it has. Very simple, as many of the riffs in this list. But if you like Deftones, you know that they can kick ass with the most simple stuff ever. And also, hey, Andrew Baina, if you're watching this, that means that I won and I posted this before you. But anyway, let's check this out. Following that, we have the riff that's gonna fulfill my thrash metal quota for this video. It's Power Trip with the song Crossbreaker. The first thing that I said when I was about to make this video is, please mention something that is not just 80s thrash metal. And for the inclusion of that genre on this video, I decided to include a band that released this song after 2010. Because honestly, I could have made this video full of 80s thrash metal bands, but that's not that fun. And Power Trip just has so many nasty riffs that I don't think I have to include any other older band. Next up, we have one of my favorite bands of all time, and also one of the most punishing riffs on this list. It's Dillinger Escape Plan with Panasonic Youth. I love this song and the whole Miss Machine album so much. I think it's an often overlooked album. It was the first with Greg Puciato on vocals, and I just think the whole album is banger after banger. And I think the intro to this song proves how crazy and aggressive E standard can get. Real quick, I wanted to mention that the reason why I haven't been including that many E standard riffs in the latest videos was because I haven't been able to play this guitar very often. This is a Jackson Soloist SLX, and it's one of my oldest guitar in my collection. And this came with a Floyd Rose special, and the thing about it is that they're very hit or miss. Lately, I've been having a lot of trouble with it. Ever since I got it, the saddle block will snap the G string if I play too hard on it. Lately, it's been getting worse and worse, and the last time, it snapped the 3 first strings just by playing it lightly, and I was like, okay, this is enough, this is his last straw, I need to make a change. And luckily, Ftone was kind enough to send not only new saddle blocks to put on this bridge, but also pretty much every piece that you can change on a Floyd Rose without changing the whole bridge itself is now been replaced with titanium pieces, which honestly, it's been a game changer for me. They also sent me some titanium screws for the nut, and also on the back I have a brass block which greatly improves the sustain of the guitar, and also some noiseless springs that when you're recording you can definitely hear how much cleaner your sound is. So these replacement pieces have definitely improved the experience that I have playing this guitar. I just have less fear that I'm gonna snap the strings off of it just by playing it as regularly as I do. I also want to give a shout out to Hipshot for sending me some locking tuners to include on this guitar. I know that a lot of people say that with a Floyd Rose guitar that has a locking nut, locking tuners are kind of pointless, but for me, they aren't. First of all, they do improve your tuning stability, which is something that I'm very finicky about, especially when I'm recording music all day, every day. Also because it just makes it so much easier to change strings. But yeah, if you've been having trouble with the Floyd Rose on your guitar, maybe you don't need to change the whole bridge itself. Maybe you only need a couple of replacement pieces on it. If you think that's you, I greatly suggest you check out Deftones. And also Hipshot, of course. Don't sleep on locking tuners. But now, back to the riffs. The next part on this list is probably the second most mentioned band throughout all three platforms when I ask for some riffs. Any standard. It's Winds of Plagues with Anthems of Apocalypse. Pretty much everyone that mentioned this band mentioned Decimate the Weak, which is the obvious choice. But I don't know, I think the breakdown of this song is a little bit dumber. I just found myself slamming a lot harder to this song, as you're gonna hear the low end saturate the audio on this recording. And also because I knew that if Androbena was gonna make a similar video, he was gonna include Decimate the Weak, so I decided to change things up. Next up, let's put some black metal on the list. We haven't had a black metal band, I think, in the whole series, actually. And this is one of the bands that I've listened to the most from this genre that is not atmospheric or avant-garde. It's Marduk with the song Throne of Rats. This is definitely my favorite Marduk song. I got to hear it live a couple of years ago, and it just made it so much more my favorite song from them. The main riff of this song is mean in a very different way than the rest of these songs on this list. There's not really any chugging on this, but the way that I think about it is that the way that this riff moves makes it very nasty, and I don't know, it's a different vibe, and I just had to add a lot of context before the main riff of this song just so you can really feel how hard it hits. After we have another one of the most mentioned songs to include on this list, it's Opeth with Master's Apprentice. This song has been asked to be included on the series ever since I included Opeth in the first Mean Riffs episode. So that was like, God, I think 6 months ago. This song is very groovy, but still has that kind of proggy flavor to it. I don't know, it's different, but still fits perfectly on the list. You decide for yourself. Next up, we have probably the band that I listened to the least out of all of the bands of this list. It's Earth Crisis with the song Firestorm. This is a very thrash metal influenced hardcore band, as most hardcore bands were in the 90s. And it's also probably the most simple riff out of the entire list because it's literally just an E power chord chug. Literally just that. And you know what? It still works for me. Remember, people, you don't need to play too many notes to make a riff go hard. Next up, we have a band that I didn't know had any riffs in E standard, but hey, here we are. It's Trivium with the song Ignition. Hey Andrew, I know you included this song, but I know that you didn't include this particular riff from this song. When people asked for this song to be included on the list, I'm sure they were talking about the main riff to intro riff of this song, but when I was listening to it, the riff that comes before the solo, it just hit so hard for me. It's quite melodic, it has a very cool harmony, but that doesn't take away from the nastiness of this part. It just goes from this part to another, and each and every one of those goes super hard, and it's just one of those riffs that just feels cool to play. I don't know if I make myself clear with that. Here, check it out. Next up we have a band that I've listened to a lot throughout my life, but I don't think I have included any of their songs in the series. It's Dream Theater with the song In the Presence of Enemies Part 2. This is my #1 favorite Dream Theater song. Yes, once upon a time, JoJo was a prog hit. I know, ew. Riff in particular has been my #1 favorite Dream Theater riff ever. Like, I don't know, the way that it grooves and it swings, and it just makes me go like, yeah. This is a really fun and cool riff to play, and you're gonna notice that once you hear it and see me play. Like, check this out. Last but not least, we have probably the #1 band that people were expecting me to include on this list. It's Sylosis with the song Servitude. When people think of modern bands that are really heavy and play an E standard, most people think of Sylosis, and you know what? Fair enough. I'm a very big fan of Sylosis. I think I discovered them way back in like 2013 when I was just starting to mold my taste for metal. I discovered them in an old music app called Aetheric, and it was played between like Killswitch Engage and Ashley Dying songs. It just really hit me from the first time. I think the first song that I listened to them was Imperial, and I've loved them ever since. And this song is probably one of the most simple Sylosis songs. It sounds very 80s thrash metal influenced. It sounds very Metallica influenced. I don't know, it just goes hard. It just goes hard. But that's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments down below what other riffs could have been included on this list, and let me know what other tuning specific videos you would like to see in the future. I'm probably gonna do every other relevant tuning to include, but you know, still, if you like the video, please click the like button down below, subscribe if you haven't, and click the notifications bell so you never miss a new video. Remember to check out Deftones and Shoutout. There will be links in the description down below for that. If you would like to watch another video full of mean and nasty and disgusting riffs, you can watch it right here. All my social media links and my Discord server link will be in the description down below as always, so please go ahead and check it out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.